If you're ready to fix your butt wink or you're falling forward in the bottom of your squats without needing to add squat shoes, belts or sleeves to your routine, here's what you need to know and how you're going to fix it. A lot of people have this preconceived notion that a squat needs to look one particular way in terms of them standing super upright or being able to maintain a neutral spine throughout the entirety of the movement. But there's a number of different factors as to why a person might squat differently and feel better with different variations of squats. Now, if you want to get a better range of motion, a little bit more confidence and stability in your leg drive when you squat, here's what you need to know. The harder you work to fight against your rib cage falling down and keeping your spine completely neutral during your squat, the worse you're going to find your butt wink and falling forward is. First of all, we need to make sure you fix your setup in order to find these cues work the most for you to improve your squat. Now remember to set the hooks up at a point where you can walk straight back off the rack when unhooking it, and when you set yourself up on the bar, you're looking to wedge yourself right underneath this thing and create as much tension in your upper back as possible. You've got a few variations of putting this bar on your back, either a low bar as seen here with a wider grip, or switching to a high bar position where the bar rests a little bit more on top of the traps, and the idea is to get your elbows as close as possible together, or take that grip slightly wider to keep your elbows and shoulders happy. Now let's look at your stance. Not everyone's stance is going to be the same. You do not have to stand in a squat with both your feet facing directly forward at about hip width apart. Not everyone's going to be built to work like this. So if you need to go slightly wider and turn your toes out slightly more for the squats, experiment with this and see if that allows you to get deeper in this movement. Now, if you do find that with these adjustments in your stance that you're still getting a butt wink at the bottom of this movement and losing that leg drive that helps you keep this in the legs and out of the low back, try making either one or both of these adjustments and seeing if it helps you. Flatten out your low back by tucking your tailbone underneath you and focus on trying to compress your rib cage downwards. The more you fight to keep your chest upright, keep yourself standing upright, and stop your tailbone from swinging under, the worse it's going to be, so work with it. If you can maintain this tucked posture through the hips and rib cage the entirety of the movement, you may find more stability in the drive back through to the top. Now, if you are finding yourself falling forward in the bottom of the squat as your hips go down past your knees, here's something you may want to consider when fixing this problem. You'll find that no matter what, without a heel lift, you'll always be fighting to keep yourself upright during this movement, and that's because of the length of your femurs. This affects how much you're going to lean forward and recruit through your hips instead of your quads throughout this movement. This is more of a genetic factor than a mobility one, but pitching your weight forward would generally allow you to put more weight on the middle of your foot for more drive out of the bottom of the squat. If you make this adjustment in your squat, think of performing more of a standing leg press for a squat. But if that fails, try these squat variations instead. Now, you don't actually have to barbell back squat. You can use other barbell squats to train up a squat pattern, like a front squat, that's going to allow you to put more pressure into your quads and keep yourself a little bit more upright to sink further into the squat pattern. You can use a safety bar squat for the same thing. This is just going to take more pressure off of your elbows and shoulders, being the limiting factor in the front squats. Now, if you don't want to use front squats or safety bar squats, you can use Zercher squats. These will put more pressure on your upper back and arms, but they're going to help you bring that center of mass lower so that you can squat down more confidently with more leg drive out of the bottom. Now, if you are simply struggling to hold the bar for front squats, you can try these holds instead. You've got a bodybuilding hold where you cross your arms over your shoulders, otherwise you've got a thumb-driven hold where you push your elbows a little further under, or a zombie hold where you just simply put your arms out in front of you, and this helps you to keep yourself nice and upright without much pressure on your shoulders in a squat. If all else fails, grab your lifting straps to make a handle on the bar for yourself. What you're going to do here is wrap your hands up in these, and this is going to allow you to push your elbows underneath the bar to rest the bar against your throat and in the crooks at those shoulders at the top of the collarbones so that you can comfortably sit down low into this squat. This also works fantastically on a Smith machine. Now, if you've found the information in this video useful to improving your squats and you want to learn more about how you can improve your strength training workouts with different variations of your favorite lifts, subscribe to this channel and follow me for more.